Hello everyone, welcome to our 5th bass clarinet lesson, and today we're going to discuss warm-ups and exercises that you can use. Okay, so I think it's pretty clear why warm-ups are important, and of course this isn't something that is exclusive to playing your instrument, right? So similar to how we would stretch and warm up our body before going for a run, making sure that we're fully warmed up our instrument is important. And in essence, when we say we warm up our body before we play sports, for example, we call it a warm up because our body literally heats up, right? And once we heat up and some sweat starts coming out, that's when we're generally more flexible and ready for whatever more enduring activities we want to engage in, right? So the same applies for your instrument. When you do warm up exercises, your instrument becomes warmer and hence makes a fuller sound when you play. And this is especially important in the winter season when our instruments tend to get pretty cold, right? So we're going to be talking about 3 types of warm-ups today that you can use before you really start playing. Number 1, long tones. Number 2, scales, which we talked about last time. And number 3, transitioning from lower to higher octaves. To start off with long tones, it's just exactly how it sounds. You're creating a long tone on a note by holding the note out. And you can start by holding the note out for just around 4 beats and increase the time you hold the note out as you go along, because in the start just 4 beats will be pretty difficult. So for example, let's do some long tones from C to G. Yeah, so what's important to note here is that you want your sound to be consistent and not shaky as you play your note. And long tones are all about creating a full and consistent sound, which will help you when you start to get to play your music or whatever you need to practice. Alright, now let's talk about scales. Remember that last time we talked about the B flat scale. And as I said, scales are important because they help warm up your fingers for faster movement, and they also help give you a sense of where the keys are located around your instrument. So since we tried the B flat scale last time, this time let's try the F concert scale. And remember, just because the name of the scale is F concert doesn't mean your first note is F concert. You need to transpose, so on a bass clarinet, a concert F would be a G. And also remember that because it's an F concert scale, you're going to have a sharp on your F. If sharps and flats are still confusing for you, that's okay, because we're going to cover them in the next couple videos. So if you're uncomfortable experimenting with scales because they involve complex fingering or too many sharps and flats, you can stick with just the B flat scale for now. So for the scale, as I said in the previous lesson, if you're unfamiliar with a specific scale or piece of music, it's good to try it out slurring first and then add in the tonguing, because that way, in the time you slur, you can familiarize yourself with the fingering. So for the scale, I'll slur it first and then I'll add in tonguing. And finally, we can talk about transitioning from lower to higher octaves. And for this warm-up, you really need to understand how to use the octave key, and the octave key is right here. Essentially, what the octave key does is it takes your fingerings up an octave. For example, if I start with my low E here without my octave key and hit my octave key, that would take me up to a B. If I start with low F and hit the octave key, it would take me up to a C. If I start with low G and hit my octave key, it would take me up to a D. You get the point, right? And this warm-up is important because it gives you better control over the notes and your transitions will sound better as you practice. Here's what it should sound like. Alright, that's pretty much it on warm-ups. You should probably practice these warm-ups or experiment with them for at least 10 minutes before you start playing your piece or whatever you need to practice, because that'll help you sound better. And especially right now in the winter, warming up is important because you want to make sure that your instrument is nice and heated up. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Jesus knows the hurt we feel inside our broken hearts. Close to us, our beloved Savior.